Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com, and this is the Adorama Picks Rapid Fire Critique. And today I have 10 photos from Pixelated Bruthy. Anyway, we've got Pixelated Bruthy right here. There's 10 photos. He's from Scotland, and he asked me to look at 10 of these photos, which I think he sent me a link before, and I didn't pick it before, and now that I look again, I think he's been changing the images around, which is really, really good, because there were some good ones, and then I felt that it needed some more to be in there. So let's start with it. So he's shooting with a Canon 50D, and I think with an 18-55 IS that Canon makes. So first things first, the first image here, we've got the three kids walking. It's the, hey, why don't you guys go to that tree and walk back here pose. I have a thing for big trees. No, I don't have a thing for big trees. I have a thing for small subjects surrounded by big trees or big houses or big landscapes. And people do this with wedding photos where the bride and groom are this big in the frame, and then the rest of the frame is filled with this big-ass tree. In this case, I would like to see a tighter shot of the kids. Looking through my frame, I just think a really nice vertical, maybe, here's a tip for using the 18-55. If you were to zoom into 55 and just leave it at 55 and just fill the frame with that, you would have a better chance of blowing out the background, separating the subjects from the background. Now, the color's not bad. It's Scotland, so it's probably raining. But it's not a bad image. It's sharp. It's nice. The color's fine. Maybe warm it up slightly. But I just would like to see it a little tighter so that the focus isn't so much on the tree, because I go right to the kids, but then the rest of the image is lost with how much the tree is there. Now, there we go. That is much, much better. Awesome. Let me see what this is taken with. This is with the 50D again. What lens? It was shot at 50 millimeters at 5.6, which means it's probably, it's with a 50 millimeter 1.8. That lens, I will tell you guys right now, if you are on a Canon and you want to say, Jared, you only recommend really expensive lenses, or really expensive lenses don't make you a great photographer, go to allenscamera.com right now and buy that Canon 50-1.8 called the Plastic Fantastic. I believe it's like $119 or $109, and that's if you're in the U.S., and if you're around the world, pick it up anywhere else. It's a great lens. What a nice shot here. The framing's done well. The hands, the kids look nice and relaxed. They're smiling. You've got the one, I would assume that they're brothers. You got a hand on him. They're nice and relaxed. The color is nice. Maybe see a little bit of kick into the face. But I'm not, you're not losing the eyes. It's not bad at all. This is where Adam Lerner would get into telling you about using off-camera flash and how you could do this and do that. Not my strong point personally, and it's his strong point, but I'd like to get into that, and we're going to show that type of situation. So I really like this shot. Nice job. Just one little thing. If I'm looking at the framing, this foot is a little close to the edge. It's not cut off, which is good, but there's a little extra room over here. So if you just recompose slightly this way, just watching your angles as you're shooting, you would be, it would be a little bit cleaner and less tight, less tight with the shoe on the edge. But nice shot, really nice job on this one. Let's move that. Very nice. I would assume that this is probably a 51.8 as well. Nice shot with the girl in the foreground. Let's look at this again and see what lens it was. So it's 50 at 2.8, which would probably be, yep, there it is, 50 1.8. So it's a nice shot. I would like to see a little bit more light in her face, maybe open up the exposure a little bit, but I know what he's trying to do here. He's trying to keep the background guy in there. So it maybe, I don't think it's burned at all, but it's a nice shot. Obviously not knowing the context, is this a brother, is this a boyfriend, what is going on here? But it's nicely composed. The background's blown out really well. It would be interesting to see also a horizontal. If I was to look through the frame here, that would work. If you pulled out and just framed around here to about here in a nice horizontal shot, that could give another twist to this photo. So this photo works well in vertical. I would like to also see that horizontal look as well, so it would leave a little bit more room going to that side. This is very nice as well. I'm trying to look at the watermark there. Yeah, it's a nice smile. It's a soft image. I don't think this is a portrait-y image that's set up. I think it's more of a candid-y one. But if it is meant to be set up, then I would totally rotate her back towards you a little bit, the shoulders, fill the frame a little more, because I know, unless the object here was to go for the long, long hair, I feel that it's not the best pose in the world. Everything else about it is great. So, let's do this. Well, again, I'm just sitting here, and I love this thing for this. Yeah, if I was to even with this pose not being the best of the best, if I was to compose and just cut it right about here, all the way to here, if I was to make that the frame and fill the frame like that, that would be a more sought-after image in my mind. But other than that, it's nice. Okay, so we've got something shot a little tighter. This definitely needs a little bit more light. It's too dark. Now let's look at the settings so we can see what we could get out of it. Let's see. We've got 1/200th of a second at 2.8 at 1000 ISO. So you didn't want to push the ISO terribly too far in the Canon 50D. Let's see. Excuse me, yawning. We got the 51.8 again. I definitely need to see a little bit more light in here. One way we could get more light, drop the shutter speed from 200th of a second to maybe a 60th of a second, because you should be able to handhold that without a problem, and that would have opened it up much more to let more light in. Another way to open it up is you were at 2.8, you could then go ahead to 1.8 or f2 or 2.2, 2.5. Those are ways you could let more light in. Or from 2.8, you could go to f2 and then drop the shutter speed a little bit until you get the desired exposure that you're looking for. This is nice. There's a few things I like. Well, I like the shot to begin with, but there's something in it that I would recommend trying not to do. Nice symmetry. We've got the smallest kid to the left. We got a medium kid in the right. We got the largest kid on the on the left, the middle, and the right. It kind of takes on that typical band pose where everybody's going like this, and I know it's something that's difficult to figure out how to do with these pose shots, but I would just do something more relaxed. Having everybody with their arms crossed kind of detracts a little bit. It's a nice shot, but here's another one. Maybe put them against the wall and have one of them sit and one of them stand and the other one jump. Just random weird stuff. And I don't know if that's something that you may have done in the shot, but I would say, have the guy in the middle square up a little bit, drop his arms, and then, maybe the two guys on the outside can fold their arms. But it looks a little too forced is what I'm trying to say there. So just try to find something that works. Like maybe have one of the kids put his hands in his pockets, one put his thumbs in the pockets of his pants, and just have the other kid, he could be doing that, or just relaxing his arms to the side. But nice exposure, nice color, nice shot. Okay. All right. What can I say about this? It's booberific. We'll just go out and say it. The colors are great of the dress. It's a beautiful dress. Her eyes look great. It's just a tough angle to photograph a woman at, especially with a low-cut dress that you can see straight down the top. We're not going to beat around the bush. We're not going to do that. We're just going to look straight. We're going to look, I almost said look straight down her dress. I meant to say we're going to look past that for the time being and just say this is probably not the best angle to photograph a girl for a portrait. But other than that, it's nice and sharp. The tones are nice. The color is really nice. And we'll move on. This is nice. We got to get rid of that watermark that's uber-duper too big in the corner. I wouldn't worry, again, about people stealing your work. There's so many people shooting these days. If somebody really wants to take your stuff and do whatever, they're going to do it. And I wouldn't worry too much. I mean, you could pop this watermark out without a problem in this photo. But, I like it. In terms of composition, I wish that, well, I guess it's blowing, and if it was straight up this dandelion, then it would have been an interesting composition. So the wind's blowing, it's blowing it that way. I like the shot. I like the tones. I like what's going on with a little bit of the movement. So I'm pretty into this. Just get rid of the big Bruce in the corner. This is nice. Again, it's a square. It's a square crop, which probably works well for this particular frame. because there was probably too much white space up top and distractions to the side. So using an artistic crop is a good thing if that's what you like to do. And that's, well, not if that's what you like to do, if it works for that photo. Again, I don't crop my own personal work, but that, again, doesn't mean that it's not okay. You can crop all you want. If it's an artistic thing and you see something and you go, okay, you know what? I really think that this image would look better this way, then that's your vision. Then go for it. That's okay, but get rid of the watermark. This watermark's too big. Watermark too big. Pump up the colors, pump up the contrast. I love how the clothespins are fading out of the way. This is a great leading lines. This is a great depth of field. This is a great rule of thirds. Really nice job on this. I just like to see a little bit more color, pumped up a little bit more. But pumped up kicks, you better run, out. Yeah, I like that song. Foster the People, by the way. So yeah, a little bit more color. The composition is great. It's right on. Really cool photo. Watermark's in the way. But other than that, this has been a really, really good set. And I'm almost positive that Bruce has been sending me his images into the Rapid Fire Critique. See, I look at those Rapid Fire Critique links that come in. He's been doing this for probably 5 or 6 months, sending them in. And now when I re-looked at his link because he sent it again, I see a major change and a major improvement that's going on, and that's why I picked it out. And I think that these images are right on. There's a little bit, of course there's always room for improvement with all of us, but this was really, really good. So we'll just go back quickly. Nice shot. Okay. We know what we said about this. This is good. This one, one of the ones that if I was making a portfolio, I wouldn't put it in there. This is okay, but we talked about going in a little tighter. This was good, and we also talked about changing shooting one that's also horizontal to give it a nice different look. This was one of the cooler shots in the set. I think it's done very well. Nice job shooting it at 5.6 so that a little bit more is in focus. Also, now I'm noticing they're basically on the same plane. So if you were shooting at 2.8 or 4 or something like that, they would have stayed in focus for the most part. But really nice job there. And then we have the big tree. We know what we said about that. So that is your Adorama Picks Rapid Fire Critique for this week. I think you did a really great job, Bruce. This is a nice set. You've progressed really, really well, and I hope that this helps all you guys out there. And if you'd like to submit your images for a rapid fire critique, you can do that on froknowsphoto.com. There's a section that says, why don't I just show you? There's a section that says Submit Photos. You click on it and you say Rapid Fire Critique, and if you just follow these directions, you can then go ahead and submit your images right through here to go into the Adorama Picks Rapid Fire Critique. And that's about it. So we'll see you the next time. Jared Polin, froknowsphoto.com. See ya!